You know exactly what is on the line for Ole Miss in this Egg Bowl. It's very simple. You win the game, you're in the playoffs. You're hosting a playoff game. At worst, you could find yourself into a bye with a lot of the right breaks. But regardless, winning, you're in. That's what's on the line. Ole Miss wins, they make the playoff. If they lose, there's a chance that they don't. What is it absent the you win your rivalry game? What else deeper is on the line for Mississippi State coming up on Friday?
Well, obviously, there's the chance to get back into postseason football. 6-6 gets you into a bowl game. And when you think about what State was last year and what a lot of people predicted, I mean, the Vegas over-under on this was this team was 3.5. They cashed that 4 weeks into the season. So, from a mile-high perspective, when, people who don't cover the team as closely as we do look at this team and they're going to go, wow, they went from 2-10 to 6-6. That's a great job by Jeff Lebby. Now, the three of us might argue, well, it was a pretty good job, but he made some mistakes here because we're so close to the situation. But you can't argue going 2-10 to 6-6. You did a good job. In this day and age of college football, it's tough to do better. You look at what USM is doing, but a different situation there. So there's that. If we're just speaking frankly, if you win this game on Friday and then on Saturday Lane Kiffin is behind a podium in Baton Rouge, well, then there's just a moment to grab there where you can say, okay, we've got stability, we've got continuity. What can we do in this moment to get back on top? And, I don't think that Ole Miss sans Lane Kiffin is next year going to be a 3-9 football team. That's the program. There's too much talent in the program. They're going to hire a good coach. That's not the situation. It's not going to be like, trying to think, the coach leaves and there's just this moment where the program just falls apart.
What Vanderbilt was.
Kind
after
of.
Franklin left.
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah, that's not happening. But there can be a moment here where you're like, okay, the new coach has got to come in. He's got to make all his recruiting contacts, and you have a window there where you can recruit based off of familiarity. It happens all the time when there are coaching changes. So there's that. For Lebby, getting to a bowl game, I think would be a great step for him. If he would somehow start Camario Taylor and get to a bowl game, then you're really setting yourself up for success next year. And I think about this a lot sometimes, and I mentioned it with Leach before he won in 22, but the Egg Bowl next year is in Oxford. If you lose this game, you're looking at losing your first 3 Egg Bowls. It's going to be tough to win in Oxford next year. It's just I say that. State's had more success in Oxford than in Starkville in the last decade, surprisingly enough. But that's just something to think about. So there's a lot on the line for Mississippi State. Obviously, there's less, but that means that you should play looser. You should play with you should be a little easier going. And, you can play you can put the chip on your shoulder of you want to win. I don't know how much there is you have to win because the stakes just aren't as high for Mississippi State. But this is the Egg Bowl. The stakes are high every year for both teams. They want the trophy. Both teams want that trophy. They want to have that moment of parading the trophy around the field and showing it off to their fans. You want that when you're in any rivalry.
The Golden Boot?
Well, maybe not parading that one because you might have a hernia when it's all over. But
I mean, the Egg Bowl trophy was sitting on the table right next to Lane Kiffin during his press conference today.
Mm-hmm.
Schools use it for pictures and props and fan activities and all of those things throughout the year.
Mm-hmm.
It is slightly more loved than the Magnolia Bowl trophy.
I would think it is, yes. And that's it. This is a rivalry game. It's historic. You want to put you want to have that moment of history. We remember so many of the great players through the years who had these little moments here and there. You want to become one of them.
If Mississippi State were to win, what would their bowl possibility be?
I haven't really, because of State, the way they've played the past few weeks, I haven't done as much deep dive on that. Like, let's see, look into who's bowl eligible. Obviously, Alabama's going to be in the playoff. Is Auburn 5-6?
If they beat Auburn, they will.
If they beat Auburn, we'll play. Is Auburn 5-6?
They are.
All right, so we're saying they're 5-7. They're probably not making a bowl. Florida's not making a bowl. Georgia's in the playoff. Kentucky wins, they're 6-6. Is LSU 5-6?
Louisville is in a tailspin.
Yeah. Is LSU 5-6? Are they 6 and 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they're 7. They've got 7 wins. All right, so they would be they're in a bowl. Missouri's in a bowl. Oklahoma maybe to the playoff. They're in a bowl. South Carolina's not going to a bowl. Tennessee's in a bowl. Texas is in a bowl. A&M's going to the playoff. Vanderbilt's playoff for a bowl. Birmingham's probably on the table, and if not that, then the next one that an SEC team can get into. I think it's
the Bad Boy Mowers Gasparilla Bowl in Tampa.
Could happen. You'll take whatever you can get. No, you're not complaining wherever they send you. You were 2-10 last year. You got to have what you got to have.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
No, I just was curious.
At least the Birmingham Bowl's not at Legion Field anymore.
Right. It's a protective stadium. Is that what it's called?
I think so.
Yeah. You go over there, get your little Top Golf in, get you a meal at Texas de Brazil, and go to the game.
Not a bad time to spend your day.
It's really not. It's a great way to spend a day.
The opportunity to, I don't know if upend your rival is the right adjective, but that's kind of what it would feel like. I mean, you very well could be the reason that they missed the playoff, losing that game. And imagine what the mood around there would be if they lose the Egg Bowl and then also Kiffin goes. Now, you're right. I mean, they've got so much money committed to football. It's unbelievable how much money they have. When you're talking about offers that LSU and Florida have put on the table, for some reason, not enough people are mentioning also, hey, Ole Miss has put that offer on the table too.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just the two of them. All three of them have the same offer out there, which would make them the highest paid coach in college football and all of the money guarantees. So that would be an attractive situation for a coach to jump in. But considering how lately the conversation about Mississippi college football has been really about Ole Miss's success, and that's it, because State just hasn't had much, you can flip that on its head quickly.
Just for clarification purposes, I've heard that the offers are all within about $1 million of each other. They may not be exactly the same, but they are close enough to kind of be thrown into that pile and it's pretty much the same. And all three are willing to do what they need to do to pay it. We get a question on the C-Spire text line. How does Ole Miss justify making Lane Kiffin the highest paid coach in college football? Enrollment, fan excitement, season ticket sales, beer sales, concession sales,
economic
national
impact.
exposure, playoff game, $50 to $75 million economic impact for hosting a playoff game in the city of Oxford, et cetera, et cetera. There are a lot of ways you can justify it.